Welcome to Fade into the Spotlight 2020 Tarot. I'm adjusting. Sorry, guys. Let's let's take a moment to breathe. You have no whoa, my do just dropped. You have no idea how many technical issues I had just to get up and running. Hold on one second. Sorry about that. Here we go. Okay, I'm gonna take a moment to breathe because my channels are coming in super strong right now. Just take a moment and breathe with me. Center, put your feet flat on the floor. Breathe deeply for the count of 7 into your nose. Hold for a count of 7. And then exhale through your mouth. Let's get some deep breathing through our diaphragm so we can actually really breathe. And I want to say welcome to all of you to Fade into the Spotlight 2020 Tarot. Okay, here we go. Let's get this going. I'm gonna take a sip of my kombucha. Thank you for joining me. I'm just gonna go in and start channeling from spirit, divine source, whatever you like to call it. These are interesting and exciting times that are upon us. You say probably exciting, interesting. Well, they're pretty damn scary, right? Not necessarily. First, I want to send all my love and every bit of my heart and soul to all the people that have lost their lives, to their families, the people in China, the people around the world. This is a time that is definitely transformative. It's definitely a major shift for humanity. We're in new uncharted territories, but then again, yet we're not. This isn't the first time this has happened to people of the world. This isn't by far the worst thing that could ever happen. And it doesn't matter if you think that whatever you might think, it's a biological, man made virus, it's something just happened naturally. It doesn't matter. There is an aspect of this that is there to push us to grow, to get us to pause for a moment and stop, to be with our friends and family, to consider deeply things that we rush around so much in life and just say we don't have the time to do. Yes, it seems like there's a ricochet domino effect for everybody where, there's a lot of people who live, I don't want to say paycheck to paycheck, but there's a lot of people who live kind of on the edge financially, especially in the service industry. Beyond this, I am in the service industry. I'm in body modality. I'm a CMT and I also am a healer. So everything I do is service industry pretty much. Um, and when this all happened, I was in the process of moving, and I beyond that got bit by a spider and it blew my leg up. And I got what's called phlebitis, which created a full blown body flu like symptom of fever. My leg blew up 3 times its normal size. And why I'm saying all this is that it pushed me, what could have and should have pushed me into a state of fear pushed me out of a state of fear into a state of love, into a state of acceptance, into a state of that enthusiasm that you feel when you're young, when you're like really young, like when you're a child, when you're a teenager, when you're just getting out of high school and the world is so fresh and so new. So I just wanted to share and be super transparent a little bit of my story. And so when all this was happening, I had gotten a call from my landlord, which I've rented her home for 3 or 4 years. And on top of it, I have rescue animals. I can't just move into an apartment. I have like fur babies that count on me. And I was told I had to move because she needed the money to sell her house and make money from that. And she's also my friend, so I don't want to put any hindrance on her by not being able to do that. So then all this corona thing hit and my entire source of income cut. So what I began to see was there was a path that I had been avoiding, a path that I had been putting to the side, which was my divine path, my true calling. And I kept making life excuses for that. The title of this is Divine Source Channeling. There's beauty in the breakdown. Divine Spirit is saying that this might look like a calamity to most. It may put a lot of fear, but if you can find a way, whatever works for you, to dig deep into your heart and open your heart and surrender to the opportunity. Maybe you wanted to stay home with your children and your family and spend more time, and this is you have to now. This is pushing you to do that. So if you think about it, we have a whole world to access right now, and it's actually more accessible than ever because everyone's staying at home. So if you're a writer, if you're an artist, um, you have access to YouTube. If you're a writer, you can connect with New York, you can connect with Europe, you can connect with LA if you don't live there, and you could actually get a remote writing job, job writing where you're at home with your family. There is so many opportunities surrounding the situation. Maybe you wanted to lose weight. Use this as an opportunity. Do we have to have food to survive? No, we can survive off of protein shakes and broccoli. I mean, we're spoiled as a collective. And I'm not judging anyone, I'm pointing the finger to myself as well. Um, but you want to lose weight? Use this as an opportunity to work out, bust your ass, get yourself. This is a stepping stone that can change your life. Literally, so what I'm saying is we have a positive excuse right now. We have the ultimate excuse to change our lives with our bill people we owe money to. I'm not suggesting that. You just if you have the wherewithal to keep yourself afloat and pay your bills and do all that, by all means, go ahead. But I'm saying you have the ultimate reason to change your life for the better right now. People are all in this boat together. And if they're not understanding and if they're falling into fear and like really trying to grasp a hold of money, and then they're really going to have to learn some hard lessons. That's what this is all about. So what is it you've been wanting to do? Who is it that you haven't called or spent more time with? Have you been in nature enough? Do we really need all those shoes? Um, and also, And also, it's a big wake up call when we have to say, oh, it's not happening over there. I mean, look at what happened in Australia. Australia's fires started last October, killed almost every freaking koala and kangaroo on the planet, and it just stopped last week. You know, I told my brother in December 2019, mark my words, 2020, there is going to be a lot of blessings and some crazy shit that's going to happen. Like, there are going to be some world things that are going to really rock the world, you know? And I've, I've said mark my words only a few times in my life. And when I say that, that means spirit is like flowing through me. And I don't say those words lightly. So, you know, it's different when we can point the finger and say, "Oh, we're cool. It's happening in Australia. Oh, we're cool. It's Oh, I'll pray for them." Really, praying's great, but we need to do a lot more than pray. I mean, all of us. We need to unite. Who who cares if the powers that be created this? They just did us a huge favor. Who cares? We can sit with our conspiracy theories and we can point the finger and say it's their fault and their fault. But when it's in our own backyard and it's the world that's affected, it's not like, oh, it's over there. It's happening to us, to all of us. What can we do? We just sit in fear and let 2 weeks go by until they tell us we can go out in public again. How do we know another dose of the flu? Of the flus come around and they keep coming around. They're so cyclical, and there's new strains coming out all the time. So this could just be a test, a test from the divine, a test from man. What does it matter? We The most power that we have is in our choices, and I just feel something in the air that's beautiful and precious. And my experience when I've gone to the grocery store, maybe it's where I resonate, maybe it's where my vibe is. I've had people be super nice to me. I've had people have conversations when they usually don't even bother. Um, I'm really trying to open up. A lot of this is channeling from the divine, but it's also, I'm really trying to let this purely filter through me and be unobscured by my own opinion. So we take a breath and a sip of drink, and I'll continue. We're all in this together. You're not alone. We all feel fear. We all feel hope. You know, I don't have children, but I do have fur babies. Shh, okay, one's barking right now. Apologize for the disruption. Um, I had an animal rescue. I have a few dogs. They're minis, but they're my babies, and I'm taking advantage of being able to. Right now, if this hadn't happened, I'd be driving all over the place working on people, like getting my YouTube channel out, driving around the world, around California, working on people, going from one end of LA, from LA to San Diego, back and forth, like running around like a crazy. And now I'm forced to sit here, to be here. I'm a writer, I'm an artist, I'm a painter. I, I have no excuse not to do the things that I am so love that I haven't even been able to give myself time to do. And my animals are so happy. I can't imagine having children right now and what parents are going through. Um, the girl who, my nail tech, like I had to debate within myself to go get my nails done. Like it was a whole day debate. Should I really be spending money on getting my nails? And I'm like, you know what? Yes, energetically, self love. Yeah, I should. And it supports my nail tech A lot of people would condemn her for keeping her shop open. She has her shop open with 3 kids and a new baby. A lot of people would attack her for saying, like, oh my God, you're exposing your children. You're exposing, she's the sweetest, most loving person, Vietnamese, super kind, super loving person. But she has a family to take care of. If that's her choice, I support her because I know she would not bring her children. If they were sick, she wouldn't come in. And she also knows that I wouldn't come see her if I were sick. So this is building trust amongst people as well. Also, I am a physical therapist, CMT beyond this. Um, and my clients, my people I've seen for years, would never see me if they were at all sick. It's an integrity thing. They know that that could ruin my life. They know that people in the service industry probably don't have thousands and thousands of dollars saved in case they get sick, that they're kind of living on the edge, and that they have to stay healthy and keep it pushing. And they also know that I would never touch them. I wouldn't touch my clients if I were in a bad mood. That's how much integrity I have. I wouldn't come on air on the internet to YouTube to you guys if I was not energetically right. By the way, I've been an intuitive reader. I've been reading tarot since I was 12. Um, I have been reading privately for a long time, and I have a pretty amazing, cool client base. And I've just been wanting to do. I've had a YouTube channel since 2012. I've just never put my everything into it. And I decided that I wanted to put everything I had into this. So if it only reaches one person and it can support that person and make them feel more inspired, then I'm cool with that. So what else does Spirit say? By the way, I called in Archangel Michael, Raphael, Uriel, Gabriel, and all the ancestors, wayshores, and guides of the purest love and lights to speak through me. This is a golden opportunity to unite. This is a golden opportunity to stop and breathe, stop and meditate, stop and do yoga. Whatever you wanted to do, you have a chance, a choice to do it. This is a time to stop and look at your fellow. Back in California when I was growing up, we used to drive around San Diego or LA, and people would just have their windows down and you would just talk to the person next to you, like just have a normal chat in traffic. Like it was totally normal. Now people are so neurotic. It's not even like they don't even want to look at each other. It's scary. So what I've noticed since this has happened is taking the time to stop and look at each other and speak with each other. And this is more cataclysmic. What's the word I'm looking for? This is more prevalent and bigger than 9/11. And what happened during 9/11? If that were the power that be, if that those were the powers that be that run the government, whatever, who cares? What does it matter? It only matters if you're fear based, because they're doing us a favor every time they try to make us divide. And I don't want to make this like a conspiracy. I just want to get the message out. It's your choice to look. I took acting class, okay, with an incredible coach. And he said there's 2 things you can play on stage, and there's only 2 things you can play in life. You're either going to play the hate or you're going to play the love. Which one is it? You have to make that choice every time you get up on stage, and you have to make that choice every time you make a choice in life. So hate has many, many categories under it, including fear, including doubt, including apathy. You know, love has many, many things under, including peace, including harmony, including joy. What do you want to choose? We can either divide or we can unite. It doesn't matter who did what or why. You know, it really doesn't. And we're all in this together. All we're all human. Maybe not all of us. There's a lot of hybrids on the planet, a lot of mixed people, but we have everything in life is a choice. And those sound like words until you really apply that. If you start really applying that to everything you do in life, I used to smoke cigarettes a long time ago, a long, long time ago, and I quit. I smoked really young. I was a model, I was a dancer, and a lot of models smoke. Like, I mean, professional. I was signed with elite models, so I was a real model. I walked runway in Japan. I smoked cigarettes. That was my diet plan. It was also it was a crutch. It was a crutch. I tried to say it was a social, glamorous thing that I got from the movies. No, it wasn't. It was a crutch. I was painfully shy, painfully socially awkward, probably even at times. Sometimes I wasn't. Um, and I quit in 2009, and I never looked back. In fact, I prayed to the angels. I said, I am so addicted to this that I hate the way it smells in my hair. I've gotten to the point where I can't stand the smell of my clothes. And the funny thing is, people would say, I can't even really smell cigarettes on you. Like, if you're, it's such a trip because you smoke, but I don't smell it on you. Somehow, I don't know. I thought they were just saying that. But anyway, I didn't care. It was making me feel sick. So I quit. I ended up getting in a relationship a couple years ago, and the guy smoked. His mom smoked like a crazy person, chain smoker. And the relationship became so toxic. It was what I thought was twin flame, karmic soulmate, whatever you want to call it. But it went from beautiful and effervescent and loving to toxic to the point where I started smoking cigarettes again. I'm telling you this story because when I finally decided to leave him, then I really thought I had to smoke. I'm like, oh my god, I can't get through this without a cigarette. I just I just quit everything, and luckily I don't I don't do anything beyond that. I drink once in a blue moon, like a glass of wine or maybe two at a social event. Like seriously, like sometimes I go 2 months without it. I don't have any other crutches. I've smoked weed in my past, but I don't choose to do that anymore. I like CBD for things in my body, but I take it totally medicinally. Um, I'm just being totally transparent. I up and said, I'm changing, I'm getting out of this toxic situation, and I'm freaking dumping the cigarettes. I'm done. This is, I can't even believe I started this again. So, no judgment on people who smoke. I was there, I've been there, I've done it several times. It taught me the willpower and self love I really had for myself. If there's something you've been yearning to do, if you're scared your source of income just got cut off and you need, hopefully you're in a position where you have a lot of money saved and you can get through this. Not a big deal. But if you're not, if you're in the service industry and you're someone who, you do well, you have a car, you get by, but you're like on the edge on a fine line, and this is kind of putting you in a situation, dig deep. What skills do you have? What talents do you have? What are you capable of? And go for it. Don't let the circuit. I know you might be saying, well, how can I go for anything? Because the whole world's at a stop right now. But they're not. The whole world's not at a stop. My nail tech's not at a stop. She's still. She thought she thanked me job on my nails and my. They did my nails and they did like give me an extra massage on my arms, and which I really need because I work on a lot of people. My hands and arms hurt, so she was super thankful, and I was super thankful that she was still there. That I could make myself feel good by getting my nails done. I want to get a massage right now, but like all spas are shut down due to ethical. You know, I understand that. Um, I know people who own a food truck and they're popping right now. They're like, all the business, the whole town shut down. And I'm in California. So, there's a lot of, you wouldn't think the whole state was shut down. There's still people. I went to World Market the other day. They were open. There were only two people in the store, but I've never seen LA where I could drive on the streets and no traffic. It's freaking bliss. It's like I got my state back from when I was little. I could go into World Market and shop with only two people. What? In LA? It's like I'm so thankful for all the good that's coming out of this. And that's what we have to focus on. I don't want to sound like I'm preaching or lecturing. I just want to relate and be totally authentic and transparent with you guys. We're all in this same boat together. You know, I was told I have to move, and here I am, like, my whole money source has been cut off. I still have to move. So I had to call the real estate agent and say, we're going to have to push back the date. The owner of the new house is getting really nervous. But I told the real estate agent, nervous isn't going to help any of us right now. And do I really want a landlord who gets nervous? Pushes that. When you say that to somebody, that's like pushing energy on somebody. I'm sure you're nervous. Then again, if you're relying, I don't know if I want a landlord that's relying on solely me to cover their mortgage. Maybe that's not the right place for me. Although I don't have much of a choice, I'm running out of time. Like my landlord needs to sell a house. I have to move. I found a house. I went through the credit check. I got approved. I really don't have time to look for another place, and I don't have the money to move in. So I could be freaking right now if I let my mind go to the bad places. Oh, doomsday is doomsday. But I'm not. I'm actually being so proactive. I'm putting new product on my Etsy shop. I have an Etsy shop. I'm a writer, so I'm submitting for remote writing jobs. I'm being so proactive right now. I got up on YouTube and have been wanting to share this message for the past week, and um, had to work really hard to pay my car payment. I'm just super being authentic right now. So I know how it feels to be in this situation. I'm in it with you guys. Spirit just wants you to know that. So if you watch tarot, which you probably do if you're looking at this channel, there's the major arcanas, the 22 major arcanas, one of them which is the tower. And a lot of people are scared of the tower because the tower is usually like unstable foundation, destruction, falling apart of a situation. But it's God, spirit, source is saying that the tower had to be brought down on the situation. When people aren't, when a collective isn't willingly making the choice to change, then the tower comes, and that's what's happening. It the collective was getting worse. You felt it. Whoever is watching this channel, whoever will see this message, You felt it. We all felt it. It was getting, especially after the weed law, the legalization of marijuana was passed. I live in a county where a lot of, I don't want to get too much into this, but a lot of growers that are coming, and it completely declined. They weren't just growers, there was a criminal aspect to it. It brought in a lot of bad people, and it changed our whole vibe in our, where we live. And they almost put us in a drought. We were like, had no water left. A lot of crazy shit, you know? So and just I mean they're like, we live on like up in the mountains of California. There's 2-lane highways. They were just running over people. They were like just driving around people, hitting people head on. Just animals dead on the road. Like I've never seen so many dead animals in like my whole life. It was just I was starting to lose hope a little bit. I was starting to become a little melancholy and be like, am I the only one that notices this, or do other people notice how even when I was looking for a house, and it's really, Spirit wants me to stop and say that it's really where you're aligned, where your energy's aligned. Because where your energy's aligned, everything will shift. What you thought was this way will suddenly become this way. So I must have not been in the best mood when I first found out that I had to move, and I started looking for a house. But I was manifesting a good landlord. I wanted a kind, like human. I didn't want a management company unless they were cool. I wanted a landlord, and I was just running into like I would find a house. It was for rent for one day. It already had 163 applications on it, and it was gone. Then I was meeting like terrible like people who ran management companies that were total assholes, just like unreal the things they would say. I couldn't even believe it. Like I had one real estate agent tell me over the phone she had never met me in her life, and I'm a local Californian, and she wasn't even from here. I already knew by the minute I heard her voice she was not from here. She was from like the Midwest, which is nothing wrong with that. But you don't. I was raised. You don't go to someone's land and then start acting like you're local. I would never go to Hawaii and say, "Oh yeah, I'm a local." That's stupid. And people only do that in California. It's ridiculous. And I call her to call about a house, and first thing out of her mouth is, "I don't know you." I'm like, really? Did you really just say that? Did you really just say that? So I marched my ass over to, I looked up the address, which was only 3 miles away, and I confronted her face to face. And at that point, I was starting to get so dismayed. And I was just like, I can't even believe all this is happening. And then here I am facing this. And I just made a decision. I'm not going to run into that anymore. I'm going to shift my alignment. Instead of feeling overwhelmed and overburdened and like I'm running out of time, I'm going to shift it to this is an opportunity. It was time for me to move. It was time for me to change locations. It was time to in that relationship. You feel me? You feel what I'm saying? I'm sure a lot of you feel the same way in some area of your life. So Spirit saying, don't fear, do not fret, do not fear. You all have free will of choice. You have access to the divine, each and every one of you. Maybe you weren't connecting to source as much as you should have been. Maybe you weren't getting out in nature enough. Maybe you weren't talking to God enough. This is an opportunity to go back home to the divine. This is an opportunity to call on your ancestors and your passed on relatives and all your good, pure love light ancestors and the way shores. They want to guide you. They want to help you. And if you'll just make space and give a moment of breath and peace to be able to stop and listen, they will give you the answers. Each and every one of you, and myself included. They will give us the answers that we need to get through this. They will give us even better answers that we could imagine. You know, you can't just get up and fly now because the airlines are shut down and all that, but you can make a plan. If you've been waiting, sorry about that. If you've been wanting to go somewhere and you have the means, maybe all this happened to put you in that direction, to set you in that direction. If there's a girlfriend or guy friend or any kind of friend that you haven't seen in a long time, or an animal friend, maybe you ride horses and you haven't, maybe your horse is boarded at a stable and you haven't had time to go see your horse in a month. Go ride your horse. If there's a girlfriend that lives in another country, we can't fly over there now, but if you have the ability to do so, make plans and do it now. I mean, this is real. Like, we could be gone like that, each and every one of us. And I don't want to sound morbid or put fear in your heart, but this is how real it is. You know, and they're saying, you know, the older, the elderly, and people with pre-existing conditions. Well, we don't know for sure. We don't know for sure what fate has for us. You know, you could go swimming one day and be perfectly healthy, go jump in the ocean, and think you're doing something good for yourself. Salt water heals, and then all of a sudden you get a little bit of a cold because you wore wet clothes, and then someone walks past you with a virus, and bam, you're done like that. Not saying that's going to happen, and most of us are going to be just fine. This will pass very soon. It's I'm hearing 2 weeks. I'm hearing 2 weeks, and things are start going back to normal. Um, we could also be this could be this is a test. It's not could be. This is it's a test. Whether it's from the divine or from humans, to see what we'll do. Do you want to show grace under pressure? Or do you want to be frantic chicken with your head cut off? That never solved anything. Fear, nor does fear. Fear will stagnate you like the hangman and stifle you and just block you and sit you there in nothingness. Ego and fear are only good. They're tools to utilize to push us ahead, to create progress. I don't have all this wisdom. This is God speaking through me. I'm just interpreting it through my voice. People used to say I was wise beyond my years when I was 15, even when I was 9. It was never me, it was always God. I had a very, very divine, deep connection with God from the time I can even remember talking, you know. And I was very fortunate to have parents that would, would nurture that through opening me to stuff that helped my soul be free. Like, my dad put me on horses before I could walk when I was 2. Let me share a dream with you guys that I just had recently. And this is, I asked for a sign, okay? 2 things. One wasn't a dream, one was a real life occurrence. And then the second one was a dream. So last week, when all this was really breaking, I went to a friend's house. He's been trying to get a massage for me for a year. I kid you not. He's always running around. I'm always running around. And I'm like, dude, I'm driving back from LA to San Diego. I'm like, are you home? He's like, well, where the hell else would I be? I have to be home. I'm like, well, I'm running around. And he's like, well, I'm at home in Long Beach. So, like, can you come give me a massage? I'm like, dude, you're not sick, are you? I know you would never let me work on you. He's like, of course not. He's like, I'm so obsessive compulsive anyway. And so I fully trusted him. And I know he is obsessive compulsive naturally. those are the people I'm not worried about. And I'm kind of that same way. So with cleanliness, not anything else. And so yeah, not only I spent he's like, dude, spend the night, have a glass of gracious host. He turned guys are really into the art of acting. This new movie has it's called The King. It's got Robert Pattinson, um, Johnny Depp, and uh, oh my god, what's her name? I love her. The French actor singer, Vanessa. I can't think of her last name, but her name is. And they had a couple of children, and one of them is Lily Rose Depp. She's in this movie, and the king, the guy that plays him. I not only had a glass or two of wine, I did an incredible massage on him that he just loved, and we chilled until 2 in the morning and watched the king. This is somebody that I connect physically in a whole year. That's ridiculous. That's excuses. What if he died tomorrow? What if I died tomorrow? And then we had Shang, the other one was called he we had coffee and in the morning haven't seen and just really nice things are coming out of it. He went shopping for he was shopping for an elderly lady, his neighbor, which is so nice. And they were gonna cut him off and not let him get certain things. And he talked to the cashier, and he's like, what's going on? But this isn't even for me. Like, I'm doing something for somebody else, and now I'm having to suffer that I don't have it. It's not cool, and you have to be human. And a grocery store who could potentially get fired, and she's going out of her way to be nice because it's not fair to him. So this is where you start to think, wait, what? And so these are things that we as a collective should really anticipate and think about. I just want to say, if there's something you've been wanting to do, if you feel this feeling, I've been feeling these nuances of, like, I'll start doubting and fearing, having a little, and then I'm like, no, 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 I got to look at all the potential, and then I'll stop myself and I'll get back on. If you watch Esther Hicks at all, or the Abraham, the Law of Attraction, she's like talking about being in the vortex, being on your high flying disc. So I'm human. I start from fear. Look at all the things I'm doing well. I've got a new car. I just made my car payment. It was a struggle, but I did it. And connect with Source. And I don't know if you can hear her, but she's dreaming. I'll start getting just like these vibes, or these so just from Divine House, little kitten curled up on a bed. I was so cozy. I prayed to God that night. I had time to breathe, and I said, please show me a sign that I'm on the right track. Please show me a sign that I'm on the right path. And lo and behold, to spend the night, I go outside, and there's a dove sitting on top of my car. A dove. A dove. I have never seen a dove in my car in my life. And then a couple nights ago, it was a saddlebred, and we jumped all 7 jumps, and we cleared them perfectly. The horse took the ball, and we did it flawlessly, and literally bowing. You can control that. Um, Lastly, Spirit just wants to say, please reconnect if you're not already connected. He's there to help you. And I will try to respond to each and everybody, even if it's just to connect through email. Um, we're gonna have some more crazy stuff happen, but this is to push us out of our comfort zone to do great things. This is to push us to evolve. This is to push yourself to be the better version of yourself, to be better, eat better. I've had a mean, but now I realize it pushed me so hard to be such a better human. My ex-boyfriend, I surf and I snow kind of at all, and I just didn't have the passion for it because of the fear, probably. I mean, and then my last boyfriend, the one that I was saying, I had to end because it was toxic, but he gave me some wonderful gifts along the way. A lot of deep, meaningful spiritual gifts that I will take with me for life. And he taught me how to ride a skateboard, and I grew to love it. And now I take my skateboard with me in my car. I can skate anywhere I go. Like I meet people everywhere. I absolutely love it. Like I'm not doing tricks yet, maybe a little bit, but I can take my skateboard on the street and skate anywhere in any town. And I meet other people who skate, and there's in Santa Cruz a lot of girls skate, and Santa Cruz is a really cool town, and I skateboard around, meet the coolest people, and that's it's a way to connect, you know. So spirit wants me to say, find your way to connect. Find your way to connect. Don't be afraid. We don't have time to be afraid anymore. Love people, give to people, open up to people. Don't be scared. What's the worst that can happen? You wave to somebody and they're like, don't even say hi. It's like F you too. Like, you won't even go there if you're in a high vibration. You'll just be like, I'm not offended. Hey, I reached out. Okay, that's where you're at. I used to get so offended if I waved at someone and they were so rude as to not wave back. It is pretty rude, but then I am gonna grew past that and like, well, you're at some space that you can't even reach out to wave. Well, I'm not gonna hold it against you because I'm sure I've been there too. So anyway, spirit wants you to know that you're not alone and you have so much potential. Sit quietly and open up. Spirit will give you answers. And there are so many answers and there are so many gifts in this breakdown. There is so much beauty in this breakdown that's happening to the world. It's beyond belief. It's beyond belief. If you couldn't have children and you were upset about that, maybe think about adopting. There's children that are gonna have lost their parents through this whole thing. I mean, there's so many creative solutions I could see. If someone's trying to have children, they can't. Maybe this is to open you up to think maybe you should adopt. You know, there's so many people that need love, so many beings that need love right now. So instead of me thinking about, oh my God, how am I going to pull off moving? I need to come up with 5 grand to move like within the next week or two. I'm thinking about the land that I found is like acres of land on a ranch. I'm thinking about all the possibilities of the things that I can create on it and letting that be my focus instead of how am I going to pull it off to even get in there. I'm thinking of what I'm going to create. I'm envisioning being there and creating something amazing. And I'm still taking action. I'm still working as much as I can. I'm doing whatever I can. I'm physically doing whatever I can. Anyway, there are so many possibilities and opportunities surrounding you that as long as you align yourself with a higher vibration, be in gratitude, be consciously aware, and do the things you've been putting off doing because we're too busy, we're too that, we're too this. There's no excuse now. We have all the time in the world. Like a pause button just got hit. Literally, a pause button just got hit. We have an excuse to do whatever we want right now. Like nobody's going to argue with it because everyone's in the same position. Talk about equality. Look at that. Look at that beautiful aspect of this. We're all equal right now. You know, technically, it doesn't matter how much money you have. If you're a multi-millionaire, billionaire, you're still in the same position. So can you get toilet paper? No, you still have to wait for toilet paper just like everyone else. It doesn't matter if you have millions and millions of dollars, you still can only get 4 things of toilet paper when you go to the store. This has created equality. This has created an understanding that we are all one and the same, and there is no better than. How much more beautiful of a gift can there be than that? And to make, as my teacher said, a choice. Do you want to live the love or do you want to live the hate? I mean, this has made me look so deep within that I have to clean up my act. Like, I don't want to be a gossip. I don't want to talk shit on people. I don't want to judge people. And with my ex boyfriend, his mom was so gnarly that I found myself starting to. I handled her very graciously for a long time, but then I started. I took a long time. I took a lot of emotional abuse from her until I cracked, and I just wanted to slay her. But I'm just like, okay, and then I don't want to be like that. I don't want to reduce myself to that. And she's just hurting and in pain and fear. That's why she's acting that way. So I love you guys so much. I feel all of what you're feeling. Don't worry, it's gonna be okay. Everything's listen to music. There's a great movie I just watched. If you like dance and music, there is an incredible movie I just finished watching. You can find it for free on YouTube called High Strung. If you're into the arts, this movie bring tears to your eyes. It's so beautiful. It's called High Strung, and the premise is a British kid, young, very good-looking young man from the UK comes to New York to well, actually, he's a great violinist, but I think he just comes to get away from his family that he doesn't really relate with. And there's a girl who comes to New York to be a prima ballerina, and she's such a humble, beautiful girl. She's not snobby at all. She's just like amazing, and then love erupts out of it. But then there's all these other side dancers and like a whole storyline that comes out of it. There's like break dancing and edgy like break dancing. It's amazing. It's one of the best stories I've seen. So I mean, you can choose to take your vibration into another level. You have access to anything you want. Sit there and watch the news all day. They're most of them are liars anyway. You're just gonna be depressed. It's gonna you have the choice to shut the television down, stop watching about the coronavirus, and go watch High Strung or watch something that will maybe make you remember that you wanted to be a dancer your whole life. You know. So anyway, that's the gist of what Spirit wanted to say, and Spirit says that this is all going to blow over probably in the next 2 weeks. We're going to have a lot more happen this year. This is just the beginning, but you know, if you align yourself with a certain vibration and really stay centered in that vibration, that's all you'll see. You won't see the other stuff. Then you'll be in a position to give yourself the love you need so that you can help the others that are going to need help. We need to be whole so we can help the others. I love you guys so much. Thank you for visiting my new channel. If you are feeling it and vibing with it, please like, subscribe, and share with your friends. And everything is going to be fine. Just do the things that bring your heart happiness and open your heart. And call that person you've been meaning to call that you love that you haven't. And give your dog a kiss and your cat a kiss and your children a kiss. And feel free to reach out to me anytime. I love you guys so much. Peace and have a wonderful day, evening. All right, peace.